You guys do a great job representing our school and community, and we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
I told him you would ask him 10 minutes worth of questions. I'm like, oh, come on.
We could probably come up with some more if we
Okay.
need to. So, what's your favorite thing, Gavin, that you've done so far in FFA?
Probably sporting clays.
Okay.
Sporting clays.
We're just gonna go down the road here, same question.
That's a hard question. Probably vet science CD.
Okay.
Probably food science CD.
I got to give the opening ceremonies at the Colt Conference, which is chapter officer training, and I was the vice president part, which is the biggest part in the opening ceremony, so that was a pretty cool opportunity to do it in front of all the Northwest District.
Yeah, because how many people's in that room at that point?
I would say that's
It was like,
40 schools, 6 kids, 250 people.
Okay.
It's just our area.
yeah, and six people are chosen to do that, so I was, and the state officers picked that, so I was pretty.
Yeah, that's not by us filling out an application. They selected him.
That's great.
So that's definitely my favorite thing, my best thing.
That's kind of a norm for you these days, isn't it?
Well, congratulations to all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys are free to stay, free to go, or
Yeah.
whatever you'd like to do.
We're gonna go over the audit, if that sounds interesting. We appreciate you guys being here. Yeah, you guys can go, you don't have to stay.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Snyder.
Yep, take care.
I think it's school board.
All right, brings us to number 3. S&B, CPSs, and Associates PLLC present the 22-23 fiscal year audit to the board. Discussion vote to approve or not to approve the fiscal year 23 audit as presented. You have the floor.
Okay. Well, again, this year your uniform guidance, so there's 3 letters in the audit. First letter is on 4, 5, and 6. It's an adverse opinion because we don't show it general accepted accounting principles. We show it on a regulatory basis, which is required by the state of Oklahoma. It's a qualified opinion because we don't show general fixed assets. We purchase those items, we use them up, we dispose of them, we buy new. If you turn to page 7, this is your balance sheet for your general fund, your special revenue, your debt service, capital projects, trusted agency, which is your gift and activity funds, and we'll show a breakdown of the special revenue back after the footnotes. We show your cash balances for each fund, your warrants payable and reserved for encumbrances, and then we show each individual fund balance.
What's the end date on these balance? Was this back in
June 30th.
June? Okay. Okay, so this is
Yep.
Sorry.
And the unassigned is in the general fund only, and those are the items that we use for pay general bills, we pay the teachers, we pay teachers' retirement, and general operations. Next page is your income statement for each fund. We also show your sources of income in each fund, the local sources. Those are ad valorem taxes, intermediate sources, or county revenues, state sources, federal sources, and then down below the expenditures we paid out for teacher salaries, supportive services, bus drivers, items in the classroom, a little bit of everything, and then operations, non-instructional services. We had an increase in the general fund of $641,076 in the special revenue, a decrease in the debt service. That's a good thing, it means we're paying off debt. And a decrease in the capital projects. We spent the funds that we passed the bond issue for. Down below we show the beginning fund balance and the ending fund balance. And you can tell with $1.4 million in the general fund, that's a whole lot better than a few years ago. And I'm going to say too, before we send this into the federal, we show a negative balance in the debt service. I'm going to restate that. We're going to move that. It'll be an investment by the general fund in the debt service so we don't show a negative. And then you get a ding from the state. So we can fix that. I forgot about that.
Good.
The next page is your budget to actual. It's the same as the income statement on the page before. When we show the original budget and the final budget, if there would have been a change in that budget, you would have had, the board would have had to approve that supplemental appropriation, and you would have known about it, so it would have been an increase. There was no changes. Next pages 10 through 18. These are your notes to your final financial statements. There's a lot of information about your school, your funds, that your budget, a little bit of everything. You get a chance, you haven't read them, you need to. If you turn to page 14, this is your long-term debt. $605,000 of combined purpose bonds of 22. Those pay off in July of 24. So those pay off this July.
Woohoo!
$610,000, 21, those paid off in July 23. Have a lease purchase with Farmers Exchange Bank for the athletic complex. Those pay off in 8/21 or 27. Turn over to page 17. Talks about your employee retirement system. This is the retirement you pay to the state for your teachers. Down right towards the bottom, 22 or 23, 22, and 21, we paid $396,000 in to the state for teachers, buying $354 and $524,000 in 21. That was back when we had to do the layoffs and everything to get the general fund back in. So that's the reason why there's a decrease from there. Page 19. This is the balance sheet we talked about on page 7. Break out the special revenues fund, the building fund, the child nutrition fund. We show the cash in each fund, liabilities, and reserve for encumbrances. And then down at the bottom, we show the fund balance in each one. $256,000 in the building fund and $138,000 in the child nutrition. Again, back here, do we have quite a bit left to spend in the child nutrition for all that money they sent us a few years ago?
We've spent some of that down. We did a refrigerator project last year. It was pretty.
We have $156,000 of those funds to spend, that we have to spend. When COVID hit, they just sent us money and everybody was free, and
Right.
it was a good thing and it's a bad thing. Because now we got to spend it. Some people are doing some upgrades to some equipment in the cafeteria and stuff to get rid of that. But you have to get approval from the state before you can do
And
that.
we did one of those projects last year.
Huh?
We did a project like that this past summer.
Schedule A2 on page 20 is the activity fund and the gift fund. We do not show the activity fund in the income statement because those funds do not belong to the school. They belong to those projects or the FFA, the band, whatever. Schedule B1, this is a breakdown of page 8 and the special revenue for the building and the child nutrition fund. Again, we show your sources and your expenditures for each one, and the beginning and ending fund balance. C1 for page 22, this is a budget to actual for the special revenue for your building fund and child nutrition. Same as same income statement as on page 21. Page 23, again, we talked about your activity funds. There's quite a list. Each one of those has a sponsor. They're required to collect the money, give the student a receipt, turn the funds into the activity fund custodian on a daily basis. They're required to deposit those funds for the whole school when they reach $100 daily. We look at those things pretty hard because most of it's cash. And if that cash lays around and isn't turned in on a timely basis, they'll become a need and then it'll disappear. The school's not responsible for it, the student's not responsible for it. That's sponsor, so we look at it to protect them, to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to. Kendra knows activity funds, she's worked awful hard to get people to do what they're supposed to do. And usually the activity fund custodian is not a well-liked person.
Well, we like her.
And then on POs, they have to, just like the encumbrance group, they have to get a PO, get it approved, then they have to get an invoice, sign it when we receive it, and we have them sign it to make sure if something happens, we can't find it, who to go talk to find those items. Turn to page 25. This is your schedule of federal awards. We received $826,000 down towards the bottom and spent $887,000. Again, that's what makes you a uniform guidance. We have to look at 40% of those, and then we looked at about 70% of the expenditures in those items. We'll show back later which ones we looked at. Makes a lot more work for us and a lot more work for the office. Page 26 is our second letter. This is where we look at everything else. We look at your payroll, your teacher's retirement, your POs, your revenues, your receipts, read your board minutes, a little bit of everything. Page 28 is your third letter. This is your letter on your uniform guidance. It's an unqualified opinion. Again, it's adverse because we don't present the financial statement in generally accepted accounting principles. We do it on the state format. Qualified because we don't present general fixed assets group. No findings. We looked at the Title 4 Part B REAP, Title 1 Part A, Title 2 Part A, Title 4 Part B, COVID-19 supply chain, your lunch program. Again, we had to look at about 70% of those items. And where you wanted me to start, there was no findings this year. Good job. Like I said, your staff does a good job and we enjoy coming and working with them.
Thanks.
Is there any questions for me?
Good.
Got some things Judy's got for you to sign.
Yes, I started at Bryce, he'll pass them around.
Oh, right, you got them. I'll try to send you those pages sometime this week.
Okay.
If I don't, call me. It'd be a crazy week.
Nice.
We don't like to leave that negative on that, so I just forgot all about it.
That's all right.
Any other questions on financial audit? Bryce, do you have anything?
No.
Okay. If not, I'll make a motion to approve the 2023 financial audit as presented. Rob second. Desiree second. Judy?
Morgan?
There you are. Yes.
Parker?
Yes.
Gibson?
Yes.
Oh,
It's the hardest one.
You got anything for me to sign for the approval?
yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Second page. Okay.
Again, the state doesn't allow us to upload them anymore, so, but I have one that just in case we need an extra, or they need one from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Executive action.
Yep. See you later.
Appreciate it. All right, brings us to the consent agenda on number 4, A through E. Got it, Bryce.
Okay. We go through our general fund encumbrances and purchase. Start with. There's just a few that I want to highlight. Everything else is pretty much routine for the month. We are getting ready to switch our student information system from Infinite Campus over to Mass Municipal Accounting Systems. There's several reasons for us to do that. One, it will be a little more user-friendly for us, and it'll be able to do some things with Google Classroom and just some other integrations that Infinite Campus either charges way too much to do, or it's just not possible. So we're going to be making that switch. So we had to pay some upfront costs to kind of get the ball rolling on that. So there's an initial cost there. In the long run, what we have to pay for that will be less than what we're paying for Infinite Campus now. So over time, we'll save some money there, switching over to that also. So there was one purchase there for $2,978, and like I said, that's to kind of get it up, get it going. Down on the other encumbrances for the general fund. Digi Security Systems, that's who did our door locks. We used some of our security money and installed a doorbell, basically, down at the east end of the hall. But a lot of our high school kids, when they get back from lunch, come to that door, or they weren't able to, and so Kendra and Judy now can allow them access to the building, but it's controlled access. And so it's kind of made it a little more secure. There's a camera on there, so we can see who those people are when that happens, and it just kind of helped us secure a few things and make it a little bit easier for our students at the same time. So we did, like I said, we did use security money for that, and then we will be doing the intercom upgrades this summer with the rest of that for this year. At the bottom there, $17,625. That is the air evac payroll deduct. We had a lot of employees take advantage of that program, and so for the first year, we will slowly deduct that and get that cost back, but it allowed them to go ahead and get signed up. I think many of them took out multiple year plans, which saves them money and gives them protection in the case, that something like that is needed. So we really did have a lot that took advantage of it, and it's not too late to sign up. If any of you would like that, that's available to you as well. We've got the paperwork there, and we can go over that, get signed up there if that's something that you want to do. But we did have a lot take advantage of that, so I was glad to see that that was going to be utilized. Like I said, the rest of our things in the general fund are pretty routine. Nothing out of the ordinary. And as far as expenses go for the general fund, that's really, like I said, that's really all the things that I had to highlight. Our building fund, we did have one kind of bigger expense right now. We are going to contract with Metcalf Land and Lawn to help us with our spraying this spring. I think that will help out quite a bit with our guys. We're short one with Bucky being gone, and so they have a lot of expertise, and we've got a lot of ball fields and just other areas that require a lot of attention. So talking to Mr. Irvin, he really wanted to go with those guys, I think we've used them in the past, they do a good job, and they're a good resource just for other things also.
Is that for the full summer, Bryce, or is that just for?
That's gonna be for, all of the spring, to get started this spring.
Just to get started?
Yeah,
Or-
well, there may be some summer applications and maybe some fall applications, but, this is gonna get it, most of it, get it taken care of. So, and they've let us use some equipment, some other things in the past too, that, we might be able to work out with them again if we needed to. The vacuum center, $1,400, we did purchase, some nicer, kind of more commercial vacuums. The ones we had were pretty old and unreliable, and it was gonna cost about as much to, repair as it was gonna be to get some new ones there, so. We're also looking into leasing some equipment that would help us with our summer maintenance stuff in the hallways versus paying to repair what we have or, purchasing. There's some lease options there that we'd be able to probably just rent for a week or so when we needed that stuff. So I think moving forward, we're gonna kind of look at doing some of those things versus purchasing. That should kind of round that out. Nothing in the child nutrition fund. Keystone, like I said, normal monthly payments there. Is there anything on the activity fund, Kendra, that we need to mention or note? About, just about made it through basketball season.
Yes.
Brooke will tell you here in a little bit, I'm sure, in the principal's report. We have a couple other games to post, but, and then we'll be on to spring sports and things like that, so we're not having to pay as many officials all the time.
It's slowing down.
Yeah.
That's what
The outstanding checks, is that just something that's just recent that we're waiting on?
A check.
Well, it just has a total year to date. It's only a month.
Sorry, I wasn't looking at.
Are you looking at the treasurer's report?
Yeah, that's good.
I was like-
I'm not sure what page it is, but I think it's on, I think it's always listed on there.
Well, it is, it just kind of threw me off because it's only February.
Well, it's in the school year, not the
Oh, okay. Oh, that's.
Not the-
Yeah,
new year.
yeah, you're right. Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, Bryce, I left you.
No, you're good. Samantha's not here. If there's anything on the treasurer's report, our account balances are in good shape right now, and I will go ahead and mention at this point that through some discussions with ACB Bank, we were able to negotiate a little better interest rate for us overall. And I think that is potentially gonna, should bring in maybe an extra 30,000 or more, I think, for us this year. So, appreciative of that, and we appreciate ACB working with us on those things and doing what's best for us there. So that was some good news, and it's always nice when we can do those things and do them right here in town.
Absolutely. Good work on that.
We do have one resignation, and that letter is attached, I believe, at the very bottom of what you guys have in front of you there. Nikki Gates, who's currently teaching 4th grade, has given us a resignation letter that will be effective at the end of this school year, so she will finish out this year, but life is taking her elsewhere, and in the letter she states that she appreciates Cherokee and the administration and community and the school for the past 7 years. So we appreciate her, and we'll wish her the best of luck moving forward and in her next venture.
Any questions or anything that needs to go over on the consent agenda? Do you have anything else, Bryce, to add or take away?
No? That pretty much gets all those things.
If not, look for a motion.
Make a motion to approve consent agenda A through E.
Desiree's made a motion to approve A through E. Do I have a second?
Yeah.
Heather, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Number 5, proposed executive session to discuss the employment of principals for the 24-25 school year so that the board can return to open session and vote to employ or not to employ Lane Pruitt and Keela Patterson for the 24-25 school year pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Make a motion to go into executive session.
Did you make the motion?
Yes.
I'll
Heather, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Parker, Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
6:43. All right, I make a motion to return to open session. Second.
I'll second.
Was there a second? Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
7:25. Go ahead with the minutes.
During the executive session, we discussed the employment of principals for the 2024-2025 school year so that we may return to open session and vote to employ or not to employ Lane Pruitt and Keela Patterson for the 2024-2025 school year pursuant to 25 OS 307B1.
Thank you. Item number 6, I make a motion to approve the rehiring of Keela Patterson and Lane Pruitt as principals for the 24-25 school year. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Desiree, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Collins,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Parker.
Yes.
Number 7, discussion and vote to approve or not to approve the use of the activity bus for the after-prom activity.
This is something we've offered now for a couple of years after prom. They've found some things to go to in Enid, and so we would just like to request that again and make it official that they're able to do that. We will provide the driver and the bus for them. That activity is sponsored by the senior parents, so they take care of the rest of it. We're just offering the bus as transportation.
Any questions on that? I make a motion to approve the use of the activity bus after prom. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Heather? Second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
Number 8, principals report.
Thanks for rehiring me. I'm very excited to be returning. On January, well, our spelling bee was since our last board meeting, and it was scheduled, I think, on the 9th, and we ended up not having school that day, so all of our little girls and boys were anxiously awaiting that day, but I think on the 12th is what we saw. I have never been to a real spelling bee, and it was such a treat. They were all so brave and got up there and spelled their words, so all of our little 1st through 5th graders. Nolan Kimenall was the winner after several intense rounds. He was the winner, and he competes tomorrow in a district spelling bee online. So, good luck to Nolan. This past month, I think on the 23rd of January, Mrs. Ware took 8 kiddos to Circle the State with Song, and it was in Guyman, so it was quite a trip for them. It's a festival sponsored by Oklahoma music educators. They went and they got to sing songs and learn new songs, so it was a fun activity for several of our kiddos. So thanks again to Mrs. Ware for giving our students that opportunity. Our after-school program is going strong. We average about 35 to 40 students daily. We are looking forward to an upcoming art show on March 7th from 5 to 6 with our leftover allocation for our expanded learning grant. We were able to get a lot of really cool supplies and things like that last year, and so this year they've been using all those things like a cooking card and lots of really neat things, and so we want to display some of the things that the kids have been able to make. this year. So on March 7th from 5 to 6, they will be having a little art show. So other than that, the elementary's doing really well. We had a big bout of sickness. We're slowly, I think, getting better, but there's still a lot of flu going around and stuff like that. But I think we're gradually increasing our attendance, so. That's all I've got.
I left her off my regular one. So Maggie Johnson was the junior high spelling bee champion. So she will be, I think, same thing tomorrow, having an online participation in the next level. So congratulations to her. As Mr. Traumbacher stated earlier, basketball is coming to an end. We played our last regular season games last night. Playoff starts Friday at Laverne. Both teams play Laverne at Laverne on Friday. Friday night's winner go home. So if we win Friday night, we play Saturday. If we don't, we're done. We are hosting a sub-site for regionals next Thursday. There will be 2 sessions of games, 1 and 2:30 in the afternoon, then we'll have to clear out. And then everybody comes back in for the 6 and 7:30 games at night. That will be that. Those are not our games, so those, I mean, could be. Hopefully, we're both playing in those games. But we are an OSSA tournament site, so it'll be OSSA playoff passes only. We're not going to open the west side doors like we normally do for games. I'm just going to open the east gym doors and ask everybody to come in through there. It'll make it easier for our gatekeepers, and it'll make it easier to clear things out. So we're gonna test that out for that. That might be a new thing, but we're gonna test that for regional basketball. We have plenty of parking out there. That way, everybody's coming in one place. So hopefully we have teams playing in that. Carson Schombacher was selected Cherokee Strip Conference Tournament All-Tournament team a couple weeks ago when we played at Pioneer. The junior high Chiefs were the champions of the conference tournament, junior high conference tournament at Medford. Pretty exciting. That was a pretty exciting game. And the junior high Lady Chiefs won 3rd place in that tournament. Sophomore class went to Northwest Tech for the sophomore tours on the 31st, and we've already started the pre-enrollment process for that with a lot of students going to return and a lot of sophomores that are interested in going next year. So that's always a good thing. FCCLA North Region Star events are this Thursday in Woodward. I believe last year she has 20 students she's taking out there to compete in the North Region Star events. And of course, the FFA was here. They are celebrating National FFA Week, and if you didn't come eat breakfast this morning, I'm sorry, but it was really good. Yeah. So I wish that was like a daily thing or maybe a weekly thing. Maybe we can talk to her about that. I don't know. I don't think the kids want to get up at 4 o'clock every morning in the week because I had several. I got up before you did this morning at 4 o'clock. Yeah, you did. So I think Thursday, if I'm not mistaken, I have to look at my calendar again, is drive your farm vehicle to school day. So if you drive Thursday. So if you drive by during the day sometime on Thursday, there's no telling what you'll see parked out in the complex parking lot. It's usually pretty interesting. We've had goats and tractors and all sorts of things in the past, so it's always a lot of fun and I enjoy it. And the local show starts on February 18th, which is a Sunday, and then the County Spring Show coming up on the 19th in a couple weeks. There are more things than that on our calendar. I could keep you here all night reading off the calendar, so if you get the app, check the events, everything gets posted there. And we can send notifications. You can choose now. By the update of the app, you can choose the groups you want the notifications from, so that's really cool. And thank you as well for having confidence to rehire me. So,
Thank you. Number 9, Superintendent's report.
Not a lot of things after all that they've talked about. Legislative session is upon us, and so we will keep an eye on all the education, I shouldn't say educated bills, I don't know if that might get stretched with some of them, but the education-related bills, we'll keep a close eye on them. Our 2 principals over there they probably didn't want to say it, but they've submitted and put a lot of work into K-20 technology grants, and they got those turned in, so we're hopeful that those will be awarded, but nonetheless, they put a lot of work into that and had to go to a lot of different meetings, and anxious to see how that turns out, but appreciate them putting the efforts in, getting those turned in. Along similar lines, we're looking into another grant opportunity for our LPC services that we've been made aware of this week. As I've stated before, with some of the federal funds and the other counselor corps grant that we have, that funding expires, and as of right now, we have 2 LPCs that are available to our students here during the week. Just certain days that they're here, free of charge. We've been paying for that with those funds now for several years, but those funds run out at the end of this school year. And so we're looking for ways that we can continue that. I know it's very beneficial for our students. And so hopefully this grant opportunity is what we're looking for, but just in the beginning stages of looking at it right now. But just kind of wanted to give a little update on that one. We're kind of in full swing, already making plans for next year. And so we've been busy doing that. And things constantly change, and as legislation comes out, sometimes that requires us to make adjustments and changes to those plans that we just got through making. So we'll see how that goes. The last thing I kind of want to touch on just a little bit is our kind of an update with Capturing Kids' Hearts. We talked a lot about that last year. We made a big investment into that program over the summer. As we came back from Christmas break, we had sent surveys out to the teachers, we sent surveys to the students and the parents on kind of how that program was going and progressing. And you know, it's something new that we're trying. It's going to take a little bit of time. I think that the younger kids are really latching onto it from what I've seen. And it's geared a little bit more towards the elementary students. But I can already see, I've seen it, you know, just in being over there at lunchtime and just the different things that they're using with the kids over there is really taking a hold. But I think that our older kids over here, from what I'm hearing, are really enjoying that too. And so there's some things that in those surveys that we were doing really well already. There's some things that were really close to hitting some benchmarks. And then there's some other things that in the conversation with the teachers, I think everybody was kind of like, yeah, we can see that. We probably need to work on this a little bit more. But it's a process. It's not just going to happen overnight. But really excited about where we're at with it. And like I said, with the investment that we made in it and the training that we went to over this past summer, it's just really been neat. They will be here next week to spend a day. Somebody that I know, Elaine and Keela, have been in several meetings with. He's already been here, I think, once earlier in the year. He'll be here all day to meet with them and kind of see, you know, what it looks like in some of our classrooms. But it's going really well. I think it's going to be something that we see just continue to build year after year. And hopefully, you know, everybody in the community starts kind of seeing some changes and some things that we're doing, and we're able to reach beyond the school out into the community with it. But like I said, it's getting started, and it is going to be a process before we get there, but just excited about it. So other than that, it's been busy. Ms. Patterson touched briefly on, you know, the illnesses. We have had several sick. We just haven't had a lot sick at the same time, whereas some of the other schools in the area have had, you know, upwards of 75 kids all out, you know, plus some teachers in one day. We haven't seen those kinds of numbers here. Like, we've got 10 kids that are sick, and they're gone for 2 days, and they're back, and then it's a whole nother set of kids that are out. And so it's kind of coming waves here, but that's kind of where we're at, and we hope that everybody can get over it soon, and then stay healthy, and we'll be able to finish the year out good. So that's all I have.
Thanks, Bryce. Any new business?
No new business.
Item number 11, I'll make the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Desiree, second. Judy?
Littlefield,
Yes.
Parker,
Yes.
Gibson,
Yes.
Collins.
Yes.
7:38.